Hi, everybody. This is Pamela Murphy with Extraordinary Life Coaching. Today, we're going to be talking about awareness. We're talking about, there's a series that goes with it that I'm doing, but it's about becoming aware of our inner persona. It's about looking at how our nervous system reacts to the things that go on within us. And it's to help us become your authentic self. And it's about accepting those awareness and not judging it. We're going to talk about the difference between awareness and judgment. And so let's get started. The one thing is, the awareness is that you cannot change the things you cannot see. And so when we're going through stuff, there's a lot of things that growing up, we have decided that what we'll do is that we create these defense mechanisms, is what I'll call it. So we have all these defense mechanisms, right? We have the perfectionist who make sure we do everything perfect. You have the hero that comes in and saves the day for everybody. Then you have the procrastinator who says, "Yeah, we'll wait. We'll get it done on time, but we'll wait." And then you have the person that just isolates themselves. And then everybody's personas are different, right? So I'm using some of my personas, but everybody's inner personas are different. So the first one is, as a high achieving person, we disconnect from ourselves. And the way that we disconnect is you have hobbies that you like to do. You have these amazing hobbies. I love to crochet, and I love to quilt. Quilting to me is like the most peaceful thing ever. But if you look at my closet, I have unfinished projects. So I'm getting that organized right now because I'm learning to reconnect with who I am. But we disconnect from the things that we like to do, our hobbies. We disconnect from things that give us joy. We disconnect from the part to say, like, it's okay if I rest today. We disconnect from all that because we feel like we have to be going 24/7. We have to keep performing all the time. So we need to look at what gave us joy. That, we need to set, like, say Sunday. For me, I'm going to start setting, like, Saturdays afternoon. I'm going to quilt or crochet. I'm going to work on a project. I'm going to take that time to stop. I make sure everything's done, everybody's taken care of, but I need to come back to that. So that's the first thing of awareness, is just to notice that you look at something that you used to do, and that includes cooking. Like, I love to cook, but I sort of for a while have been, even before I started doing this, I would, like, look at a recipe like, oh, I really want to try that, but then it's like, it's just too much, I'm not going to do that. It's just because I was being disconnected. Things that gave me joy, I just said, it's not worth it because I've got other things going on, and if I start enjoying it, then I'm gonna have to stop. So let me just won't bother. That's how you become disconnected from yourself, and you tell yourself it's okay because, gosh, I'm so busy, I got all this stuff to do, I can't. But it's a choice, right? We chose to abandon ourselves. That's how you become disconnected. You say, I'll get back to myself someday. That's the disconnection. Then the next thing is the awareness and judgment. When things happen, let's just say that, you had a deadline to meet and you didn't meet the deadline. So now you're beating yourself up because you thought you still have plenty of time and you didn't. And you have to go and say, okay, I need a couple extra days, right? So the judgment is like, I can't believe I did that. Oh my God, I'm just such an awful person. My boss is going to be upset. We got all these people that we need to get stuff to, and I didn't meet that. And that should be okay, because you're not going to meet it all the time, because there's no such thing as perfect. None of us are perfect. Things happen, right? Life happens. But it's hard to accept. So we judge ourselves. And it's really self-criticizing that we do, and it's the worst. We judge ourselves so much harshly than other people do. I know I do. If I would make a mistake, or if something doesn't go right, well, why didn't I do this? I should have did this. Oh my gosh, this is so awful. Now I've got all this. Look how I affected everybody else because I didn't think. But I made a mistake. That's all it is. Was it fixable? Yes, it was fixable. But because I made that mistake, I just judged myself so harshly. So that's judgment. Awareness is saying, like, I always, whenever something happens with a mistake, this is what I do to myself. Why do I keep doing this? Why do I always go down this rabbit hole of where I want to hide? I'm not worthy. I'm not deserving. I can't do the job. There must be something wrong with me. How can I fix this? That's the awareness. And then this hard question, the hardest question is like, why do I keep doing this? There's nothing to fix, but you need to go within and find out, where did it start from? Why does this always come up for me? And I'm going to use one of mine, perfectionists, right? I think for me, it was, being when you're younger and you're the oldest, you're always told to make sure that you don't do anything that make you embarrass the family, number one. Number two, don't forget you have brothers and sisters and they're looking up to you, so you can't be doing anything that causes any kind of shame. Well, that's basically what that is. But also, like, making sure you get good grades. I did very well in most of my subjects. My weakest subject was math. And for some reason, it just would not click, right? But I would hate report card time. I already knew my other grades would be good. And when it came to the math, all I would ever hear is like, I don't understand what's wrong with you. Why can't you get this right? And one time at a dinner table, we were going over our grades. My mom was talking, and my dad said, hey, maybe this summer you should do it at summer school, and maybe there's something that the teacher can help you with, because there's something that's just not clicking with the basic maths, And it wasn't really basic. It was like between the algebra and all that you start getting into, but still having problems, just basically still having problems. And I remember my mom comparing me to my brother in 5th grade. And I'm getting ready to go into high school and I'm really having issues. And I just remember being just so hurt that she was just like, maybe you should just have your brother tutor you. I'll just pay him to tutor you. And then my dad was like, no, she'll go to summer school and that's fine. But at that point, I just felt like I was the worst person ever. Because again, I was disappointing somebody, right? And so I knew I had to be perfect. So yes, I went to summer school. Something clicked. I don't know if it was clicked out of fear, because I didn't want to go through 4 years of high school being judged on my grades. So I think mostly it was out of fear. But it clicked, got through it, and we were good. But that is a self-awareness for me to go back. Why can't I accept that I make mistakes? Why can I not accept that, I don't have to be perfect. I don't have to be the hero in the room. I don't have to be the brightest light. I don't need to do that. I had to go back and look at all the things that came up. And there was some other ones that came up, but that was one of the main ones. But so you have to look at that. It's not blaming anybody. It's not about blame. It's not about pointing fingers, but it's about you coming in alignment with who you are and saying, because of A, B, C, I always do this. This is where this comes from. That's the awareness. The judgment is we just judge ourselves and put all these signs in our head, and our head goes negative. So the positive mindset that you have now, you have to go back and, every morning you have to wake up and say, hey, it's okay. It's a new day. That's done. But we have to address that. You can't just say, well, okay, I know what it is. I used to do that. Okay, I understand my awareness, but I never dug into why I kept doing it. And I finally dug into, why do I keep wanting to be perfect? Why do I want to be the hero? Why do I take on more responsibility than I really need to? So those are the things, that's your awareness. That's when you need to write down what it is for you. What is and don't try to do them all. Take one. This is a journey. It's not a race. And a journey is, you take 1 second, 1 minute, 1 day at a time. So it's like, so you have to start looking at your patterns, right? So the patterns that you have, people-pleasing, perfectionist, hero, taking on more than you really should, taking on responsibility for other people, telling yourself that how other people, for me, sometimes things would be wrong And I automatically would be, okay, well, it's my responsibility. I should have caught that. Okay, that's not her fault. I should have caught it. And I would get called on the carpet every time by my boss, like, dude, no, she's responsible for that, not you. Yes, you should have caught it, but she still should have got it done. So people pleasing, right? So look at your patterns and see what that is. What is your pattern that you just pick one? Don't try to put them all together. Get a nice journal that you can write in and write down, like, what is that? Why do I do that? The next part is, once you figure out that you've been performing and not living, things start to change because we perform. I mean, I am one of my, I put it as performance, but sometimes I feel like we put ourselves in these cages and we perform. We perform amazingly. So, but we're not living, we're just performing. We're making sure we hit all the key boxes for everybody. We've met your expectations. We make sure our family's happy. Everybody's happy, right? You're people pleasing. You're the hero. You put on your cape, you come in and save the day. That's all performing. I used to always tell myself, I can't wait till I keep elevating my, working and my career and work up to where I'm sitting and sitting with the owners or, CFOs and stuff of the company, the boardroom table. Well, I did achieve that. That, when I look at it now, is so amazing. But when I was in it, I didn't see that. What I saw was that I had to strive harder because I didn't want it to look like I didn't know what I was talking about. So a lot of times I would over-explain. And that's a person that's trying to please. When you over-explain, there's nothing more to explain. It was A, B, and C. That's it. We add things to it because we want people to think that, hey, I'm very knowledgeable. I know what I'm talking about. People you're sitting with already know you're knowledgeable, or you wouldn't be sitting there. It's just that we don't see that in us because we're performing. You're performing, so you don't see that, and you just keep performing. And then we don't really live our life to the fullest. We live our life for everybody else. You're not living your life for you because you're not aware of what you cannot see. And it doesn't mean you still don't do the things you do, because what you do, you're amazing at. That's why I say there's nothing really to fix. It's just becoming aware of your triggers. It's a trigger. What makes things happen for you that you want to go down the rabbit hole and just sit there and hide. So, you want to hide because you just don't want to deal with all the stuff that's going on. So we wear a mask. We tell ourselves, okay. At the end of the day, you get in your car, nobody's with you. The mask comes off and you're just like, oh, okay, let me go home. Right? So that's the performance that we do. And the performance ends up causes us to start going into the burnout phase. And then now you're becoming burnout and you just can't even deal with the things that you're supposed to. We start going down the rabbit hole more and more and more. We act out more. We will just tell everybody, I got it. Like me, I got it. I'll take care of it. Work 15, 20 hours a day, but I would get it done. That's not how it should be. And then the last part of this is, once you become aware, that's when the journey begins. That's when your healing begins. And it's emotional healing. I know our society tells us, today's society says feelings and emotional healings, that means you're weak. It doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're a very strong person, that you're able to step back and be like, something's wrong with me. Not wrong. I take that back. And that was the wrong thing for me to say, that there's something within me that is just not right. Your nervous system is the best way you know something is not right. And you feel it in your pit of your stomach. And that's our survival mode. We're always in survival mode. But once you become aware of that, and once you're ready to start moving toward your emotional healing and just healing in general, it becomes amazing, because then you're actually working on the things that make you do the things you do that you normally probably wouldn't do, but it's just out of, you know what, I gotta say this, a lot of times we do what we do out of fear. Everything we've been taught is based on fear-based. We've not been taught to do things out of love for ourselves and respect for ourselves and respect and love for others. Everything we've been taught is out of fear base. So we have these fears, and so that's how we keep moving forward in the world. But it's time to like just take one of your patterns and write about it. And so my reflection question for you is this: what pattern am I finally willing to see? Pick one pattern, and I'd love to hear back from you. Like, what pattern did you pick for you? And it's your pattern, and everybody's patterns are different. Everybody has their different things that have happened, and we have been told to stuff it down. So we stuff it down. We don't say anything. We carry it like we carry it. We have a badge of honor that we carry. But there comes a point where you can't do that. It's just not healthy. Your nervous system can't take it. And I can tell you that when I really started going deeper and deeper in, my nervous system became more calm, that I could accept things that happen. Yes, you'll always have these triggers, but it's like I said, it's like going to the beach with your kids and they have all the sand in their shoes and you're making sure before you leave, all the sand's poured out. But when you get home, you still find sand coming out of your shoes. And that's what the journey's about. You're still going to have sand. You're still going to have little pebbles that will come up, but you'll know how to acknowledge it and say like, oh, okay, I know what this is about. Okay, what did I do for this to get triggered? What was said? What did I look at? What happened for this to trigger? That's the journey within. That's the awareness that you need to have so that you can become your authentic self, live your life on your terms, and create the desires, create the goals. What is it that you want to do? But you need to do it not out of fear, but out of love. Next time we talk, it'll be about after the awareness, what happens, and it's letting go. I wish everybody to have a safe and best week. And also, please like and subscribe. And I'll talk to you guys later. This is Pamela Murphy from Extraordinary Life Coaching. Thank you.